Terminators, elite first company members of the Space Marines, fighting for justice and honor in the name of the Emperor, their never-ending quest to eradicate...
Hello! Yes, this is my collection of hand-painted Terminators, painted by my own fair hands. When I was about 8 years... No, it must have been older than that. Must have been 11, I would guess. Oh my god. My 4-year-old could do better than this. This is the... I can't place what chapter these are from because I think I've tried to make up my own chapter. It looks a bit like an hourglass. I can only presume because it took me far less than an hour to paint the entire lot of this squadron. Possibly 5 minutes. As you can see, this... You can't actually, can you? But this is the captain of the squad. He's got a power sword with a nice flick of yellow there. He's got some sort of dagger. And he's got some sort of gun. You can see his... What's he got here? He's got his Terminator Evictus, or whatever it is, logo. And he's got so much paint on his face that I bet he can hardly breathe. Luckily he's got a air supply thing, so he should be okay. Anyway, there is Il Capitano. Next we have this guy with a minigun. I've done this in my little chapter sign there. This gentleman has a power fist. And I've tried to recreate that striped effect that you see on so many Terminator figures, but looks absolutely peachy. This looks like it's been drawn by a cat-handed child with less brains than a maggot, possibly. And yeah, this one's a bit better. He's got less paint on him. Let's crack the magnifying glass so you can get a good look. It's a bit grubby, but then so's life. There we go, he's got his little Terminator badge. He's got yellow-ish eyes, and yep, he looks absolutely immense. Now here, I think this, if I'm correct, this is a chaplain, isn't it? If they've got skulls on their faces. It's either a chaplain or some sort of chaos Terminator. And this guy has a bolt pistol. He's got no arm, but I think that's the least of his worries. Let's see if I can find his arm. Just looking for an arm in a pot. Here we go, here's his arm. This is his arm. There we go, put it on there. Imagine if you saw this guy walking into battle. You wouldn't be concerned, would you? You'd think, what's this guy doing? Fancy dress? I went to the Warhammer club at school once. I swear it was filled with children that I'd never even seen in my school before. And I took these guys along, and I didn't even know how to play Warhammer. I used to just muck about with my mate. I just liked the figures and the universe of Warhammer. And I got laughed off the battlefield because, you know, it's to be expected. Here we go, we've got another dude here. Oh, there's the door, bear with me. Excuse me, that was the delivery man delivering my toothpaste, as you do. Yeah, so this is bolt gun guy, we'll call him. He's got some sort of jetpack, and he's painted in the similar glaring red that we see with all these figures. How delightful. And then we come on to this particular special case, who looks like he's been flooded with an onslaught of paint. It looks like he's fallen in some sort of red juice. We'll call it strawberry juice, and probably died in there because the paint is so thick that you can barely make out it's a figure at all. It looks like a static blob. What have we got? We've got he's a member of some sort of chapter. I'm not sure what chapter that is, possibly the Shitfest Terminator chapter. But it's possibly a chapter provided for light entertainment purposes, just to rouse the troops and to provide entertainment. I think this is a medic. I think that is his medic sign, actually, because he's got a little pack. Don't know if you can make that out. Yeah, he's a medic. Although he probably needs some attention himself. Yeah, and that is my Terminator squadron. I've also got a particularly nicely painted dragon here. Yeah, look at that. Delightful. And these guys, although I can't recall painting these myself, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. They're quite an obscure Terminator sort of type. I don't know what type they are. I presume they belong to the Warhammer range. Who can tell? And I also discovered, this was in amongst a box of absolute tripe in my parents' garage, I also discovered this little chappie. We'll call him Dwarf Face McFlappy Winghead. And he is looking particularly raw and unpainted. And I'm probably getting quite a dose of lead poisoning right now. But I did used to love these figures, probably because of the lead poisoning. And we've got another dwarf chap, and he's been painted quite well by the look of it. Obviously not by my fair hand. Look at him, he's got some detail there. It's almost looking semi-amateur professional maybe-ism. Not a bad attempt at all. This was the orifice that I found all these guys in. Lovely glass bowl. Also came with this hologram of a skull. I think came from York Dungeons. So there we go. There is my squad of Space Marines. And all of it. No, they're not Space Marines. This is the Terminator chapter. This is the first division of the Space Marines, whatever you call them. This is Bobby. And Bobby, we're going to take his paint off and strip him back to basics. Lucky you, Bobby. Let's go! So I'm led to believe that with some fairy power spray, there we go, bit of free advertising for you, fairy. Not great advertising, I'll admit, but it's free. Don't quibble. Anyway, I'm led to believe that using fairy power spray, it can remove paint quite effortlessly from Citadel figures. So I have my Terminator and I have a toothbrush. There we go. Got a toothbrush, don't worry. It's the kids' toothbrush, one of the kids. And don't worry, it's an old one. Don't have to go running to social services. And if we rub Terminator, like so, you will see that nothing happens whatsoever. So I've spent a good few moments of my life trying to get the paint off this little bastard, which I'll never get back. And although you can see the paint is starting to come off, we've got some slight progress. There we go, you can see the metal underneath starting to come through, and he's starting to look a bit better, to be honest, because he hasn't got the clumps of paint all over him that he used to. I think this is going to be an overnight job, but it's getting there. Oh, hi there! I was just cleaning my old Warhammer figures. There really is nothing better than fairy power spray to get the crud off your old Warhammer figures. Give it a go!
Warhammer figures. Fairy. Please be aware, product does fuck all to help.